Hey guys, today we're going to work on a project inspired by Pete the Cat. So, the first step that we have to do is start by drawing his head. You're going to draw one line on each side for each side of his head, his face, and then you're going to connect those two lines with a little bit of a curved line at the bottom. Next, we're going to move on to his ears. You're just going to start at that top point from the side that you drew and then draw an angle down to create his ears and then an arched line at the top to do his head. And we're going to draw a triangle close to the bottom for his nose and then two arches. These are going to be for the top of his eyes. And then we are going to just close them off with upside down arches. For the inside of his eyes, we are going to just draw a letter U. Remember to touch that top line so it closes it off. Next, we're going to move on to his whiskers. I draw 4 on each side. Notice I don't go onto his face. I just draw them at the outside of his face. Then for his body, I'm just going to draw 2 lines down all the way to the bottom of my paper. And then I am going to draw another little U outside of that first U in each of the eyes. So when we color, we'll be able to do a different color in that space. Next, I'm going to draw a line behind Pete. That's going to be the line for my sidewalk. Then I'm going to draw a cloud in the sky. So we are talking about space with this project, and we want to make sure we're using up as much space as possible. I'm going to draw another line behind Pete. That's going to be the horizon line, which creates the line for the ground. And then I'm going to add a little house behind Pete because in a lot of his stories, he's either walking through his neighborhood or he's in his house or possibly even going to a friend's house. So again, we're talking about space with this project. We want to use up as much space as possible by adding all these little details that we might find in one of his stories. So I have all my drawing done. And next I'm going to move on to my coloring. So the first color I'm going to use is yellow. The inside of Pete's eyes are yellow for the bigger part. So that football shape that we drew for his eyes, or the almond shape, is the color yellow. We're not doing the inside of that little U or the outside of the U that we did for the second shape. So I'm just going to fill in my coloring. I'm going to close that off. Then I'm going to go in with a black crayon next, and that is where I'm going to color in that outside U. I'm still going to keep that really small U on the inside. I'm going to keep that white. So I'm just going to close off the U. So it's yellow and black, and then the smallest U on the inside stays white. Now, of course, Pete the Cat is blue. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start coloring my Pete the Cat all nice and blue. His nose is white, so I am going to try my hardest to not color in my nose for my Pete. So I'm going to color the head, I'm going to color the body, I'm going to get that all done, and then we will see what he looks like. Now that I have my Pete the Cat all colored, I added a little bit of green for the grass in the background and gray for his sidewalk. Now I'm just going to move on to the house. I picked brown for my house, but notice I'm going around my door, around my windows, making sure that I'm not just coloring over top of those because I want to make sure that I can see all the details that I did put into my drawing. And I'm going to go back in and add a few more colors to my house. So I think I might go in with a red for my door, color that all up with the red. And then, Mrs. Scrubs loves to trace all of the drawings with black. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to trace over my windows just so you can always make sure that you see all the details that you take your time and draw. So I'm going to trace those all up. And then I'm going to use a gray crayon for my roof. Now I'm trying to use different colors so you can see the different parts of my house because I did take my time to draw them, so I want you to make sure that you can see them. Now we're almost done, and some of you like to color your clouds blue and keep your sky white, but I'm going to do the opposite. I am going to color all that empty space behind Pete the Cat and color that a light blue, and then keep my cloud white so you can see the difference. Remember, we are using the idea of space for this project, so we want to use as much space as possible by filling it up with color or designs or objects. So I have a cloud, I have a house, I have grass, I have a sidewalk, and of course I have Pete the Cat. So I'm just going to finish this off. I hope you guys had a really great time working on this, and I can't wait to see them.